Hey everybody, this is the fourth here, and welcome to the analysis video of my Hardstyle kick tutorial series. Now, if you haven't already, I highly recommend you go and watch the whole series from the beginning. The link will be in the description to the playlist. That way, you just learn all the techniques that I've explained in all the previous videos. Because in this video, I'm just going to analyze a kick project that I've made and kind of explain why I did certain things. Now, if you want to download this project, the link will be in the description for that as well. And you can download this kick as well as the project for this kick, that kick, that kick, and that kick. In addition to the kick from the video where I made a kick from scratch. So you can download all of these projects and look at them and see how I did what I did to get that kick sound. And if you want to kind of modify those kicks into your own kind of kicks, I'm perfectly okay with you doing that. So for example, this kick project, with some different parameters, some different settings, I've gotten this kick, as well as this kick, and a number of other different sounding kicks. So I'm perfectly fine with you guys doing that. And if you're a beginner, it might be especially helpful because getting a kick in the first place is pretty tough, and you're still getting a unique sound by adjusting the parameters, and you're still learning from that process. But anyway, let's see how I made this kick. Okay, so I'm going to turn off everything except for the soft clipper for now. And the only reason I'm leaving the soft clipper on is so I don't clip the master while I'm recording. Okay, so I started off with just a very simple kick sound. And you can see here that I have the second harmonic, which I talked about in the first video. And that's just really important for getting the character. And then from there, what I've done is I put on an EQ that I actually didn't end up doing anything with, because right after that I put on homicide. And you can hear the different bands. Each of them has its own distortion setting. And just the way they kind of work together and distort different parts of the kick give the kick a different character. And that's why I say multi-band distortion is really important. And then what I actually did while making this kick is, I went back into the project and made a ton of changes after I had done some of these effects. So I think I probably originally started with different settings on this, and then I went in later and changed it, but I still used homicide at that point. And then I put on a distortion to kind of bring out the sound a bit more, and add a little bit of fuzz. This is type B distortion on the fruity fast distortion. And I really did some heavy EQ work before that distortion plugin to give it that bounce. You can hear it has that mid-range bounce to it now. and that's just from boosting this range and cutting this range. And then I use this EQ to give it a little bit less bounce and a little bit more of a bite. You can still hear it has that bounce character, it's just not as pronounced. So yeah. And then this is the kick that I was experimenting with a vocoder to see how it changed the sound. So you can hear it changes the sound quite a bit. And again, this is something that I played around with after putting on the next homicide. And if I change these settings, you can really change the character. And I played with everything. I played with the number of bands, I played with the order, and the bandwidth for each band, and all that stuff. And then after the vocodecs, I threw on another homicide to get some more crunch from the sound. I've done the multi-band again to give each band its own distortion to change the character of the kick. And the first band is actually not really changing the sound. So I'm only using band 2, band 3, and band 4. And what I did is I just adjusted the types of distortion and all of the different parameters. The bass one, it doesn't look like I did too much to the bass because at this point, if I distorted the bass, it would become too prevalent in the sound, and I didn't want that. I wanted to keep the other frequency ranges more present. Okay, and then I routed it through this track because it started to get too many effects, where I put another EQ and another distortion. And what I do is I put the EQs on and the distortion at the same time, and then I adjust the parameters of the EQ, because that's how you shape the sound. You can't really judge how that's going to sound through the distortion until you have the distortion on. And then, so once I had that distortion, I routed it to another track where I put a bit more EQ, and you can see here I'm cutting out a lot of resonating tones. Like, if you can hear that, you hear a lot of, in that mid-range, the low mids, you can hear several different ringing frequencies. And this just cleans it up. And then I push that into a hard clipping wave shaper. And then that goes through the soft clip. Now, I had the sound and I liked it. I liked the character of the sound. But to me, it didn't have enough high end. I wanted more crunch. I wanted more high end in the sound. So what I did is, because this is kind of almost the final processing of the kick, and this is where the original kick sound kind of ends, I routed this through another mixer track, which, let me just mute this. But I didn't have that muted while I was doing it, but I want to mute it so you can hear kind of what I did. So in this track, I cut off all the low end because, I wanted to add highs, so I don't need all that low end when I'm just adding highs. And then I used the bit crusher and I dropped the bit depth down to give it a lot of, fuzz, because I wanted that kind of fuzzy sound in the high end. So it's less defined, it's more kind of almost white noise-ish. And also it doesn't sustain as long. And then, I distorted that, and I shaped it with an EQ before the distortion. And when I layer that with the previous sound, I get the full kick sound. And if I turn that off again, you can hear it just really adds that high end. And if I wanted to have more, I could boost the volume, or lower it if I wanted less. And that's really the process I went through while making this kick. But even at this point, when everything was added, I went back through and I, adjusted things to get it to sound better in the end. And so, you'll see if I kind of make some adjustments, I can completely change the sound of the kick. And if I want to enhance on this, I can kind of change the distortion afterwards. And I could play with this on the side as well. And just totally change the sound of the kick. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process while I was making this kick, and hopefully that's helpful. Again, if you want to download this and a few other kick projects, you can check out the link in the description. You will need Homicide for this kick, but some of the other projects don't use Homicide. But yeah, in the next video for the series, I'm going to be talking about pitching. So see you then. Thanks for watching my tutorial video. I hope you found it to be helpful. If you want to learn more, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can watch new videos as soon as I upload them. After that, check out the Beat School website. I'll have the link in the description. All my tutorials are organized on the site so that you can easily find what you need by browsing through the different categories. There are also a ton of awesome resources to help you in every aspect of music production. And if you want to help support me, you can buy any of my sample packs, preset packs, or project files for only $5 or less. This gets you some great sounds for a great price and allows me to spend more time making these tutorials and working on the website. Thanks again for watching my video, and have a great day.